If you can't pay your mortgage, I've got 5 ways you can lower or pause your mortgage payment to get back on your feet. Welcome to Modern Frugality. My name is Jen. I'm a personal finance writer and expert here to help you manage your limited resources better so that you can get back to the way you were living and get back even better. If you're a subscriber, thanks so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if this is something you like and you want more of. And if you're not a subscriber, click that button in the bottom right-hand corner, and I will be bringing more videos on how to save money and spend smarter every week. Right now is the time people are running out of money and unable to make their mortgage payments. So I wanted to do a video on the things you can do when you can't pay your mortgage. And some of these are better than others. I've heard a lot of mixed information out there. So I went in and I looked at all these websites to make sure I was going to give you accurate information and what you can expect when you do any of these options. Before we begin, there are a few things you need to know. First is that it may take a while to get anybody on the phone, whoever you call, because you're not the only one having trouble paying your mortgage. So be prepared to be on hold for a while. Second is to get everything in writing. So whatever agreements you have, whatever programs you join, get everything on paper in writing. Keep these written documents on hand and continue to pay attention to your mortgage account. Don't set it and forget it. Be aware of what's going on in that account no matter what program you choose. And last, watch out for scams. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. There are no programs out there right now that are going to pay your mortgage payment for you. If anybody is claiming to do that, it is not legit. Do not give anybody that calls you any of your personal information. Remember how I said first it's going to be hard to get somebody on the phone even when you call them? Legit mortgage companies are not going to be calling you right now unless they're returning a call and they explicitly said they will be calling you. And at that, it will take a while. So don't give any of your information to scammers. Know that if it sounds too good to be true or if it's too easy, then it is. It's too good to be true. There are a lot of scams around in general. So don't open emails you don't know who they're from. Don't answer calls you don't know who they're from. Don't give your information or click on any links in emails. Don't click any buttons on websites even if they don't have an SSL certificate. Just be increasingly careful right now because scams are running rampant. Okay, the first thing you need to do if you can't pay your mortgage, you need to figure out who your lender is and what type of mortgage you have, because the different programs and the different options available are particular to the type of mortgage you have and who services it. The CARES Act, passed back in March, enacted a lot of resources for mortgage payers, but that is only for homeowners with federally backed mortgages. Now, 63% of all mortgages are federally backed, but you need to know what type you have and if yours is federally backed or not. So just to put it out there, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, those are federally backed for conventional loans. FHA loans are federally backed, VA loans, and the USDA loans. Anything that came from Congress that was passed in a bill, that is going to apply to your mortgage. It's also important to note that while your mortgage might be federally backed, the government is not your loan servicer. So you still need to figure out who is servicing your loan. That is going to be who you call. You can't call up the USDA, you can't call up the VA. You might need to look at your mortgage documents to figure out who is servicing your loan right now. The second thing you need to do after you figure out what type of mortgage you have and who services it is to request forbearance. And I just want to note, for the record, forbearance is not ideal. Forbearance should never be number 2 on anybody's list for anything. But if you can't pay your mortgage right now, then forbearance is an option for you. Because of the CARES Act, if your mortgage is federally backed, you can get up to 12 months of forbearance in 6-month increments. But your loan servicer isn't going to automatically put you in forbearance. You're going to need to call the servicer and tell them, I can't pay my mortgage because of pandemic-related economic crisis, and they shouldn't ask any other questions. Normally, forbearance would be a pretty long process where you have to prove that you need it, but right now, if you've lost income due to the pandemic, then it should be relatively quick to get. Now, what happens when you're in forbearance? You won't incur any late fees, and your loan servicer won't report missed payments to the credit bureaus. What will happen is that you will continue to incur interest on your loan. So that will not stop. That is not like student loans that have stopped incurring interest. Federally backed mortgages are still incurring interest. At the end of 6 or 12 months, any federally backed mortgage will not have to make a balloon payment. You will have probably 2 options. The first is to spread out those payments along the next 6 to 12 months, therefore increasing your mortgage payment for the next 6 months to a year, or you can do a loan modification. It will allow you to change the interest rate, prolong your loan, and not boost up those mortgage payments as much as spreading them across 6 to 12 months. Obviously, if I was going to pick one, I would pick spreading those payments off over the following 6 to 12 months. It's better for your credit, but a loan modification is still an option. What if you have a private loan like me? Paying a balloon payment at the end is an option that most private lenders want you to do. Most people can't do that, and so they're not going to make you. They're not going to penalize you for not doing that. You'll get the same options as people with federally backed loans. You can stretch it out over 6 months to a year. That'll vary depending on which lender you have and how long you were in forbearance, or you can do a loan modification. Private lenders are not offering up to 12 months of forbearance. I've seen some are allowing 3 months, some are allowing 6 months. So call your servicer and figure out what is available to you. Third is to consider refinancing. Rates are super low right now. It's a great time to refinance, but it is a little difficult to refinance right now because everybody has heard that and everybody has tried to refinance. So your best bet if you're going to try and refinance is to go with a small lender like a credit union or a local bank. We were actually able to apply with our local credit union last week, and we got a call about a week later saying that we got a rate lock. So there are still lenders that are doing refinancing. You're just not going to be able to plug and play on a national website and get the lowest rates. You're going to have to look around locally. So get a list of your local credit unions and local banks and go to their websites and do a rate check, and then call to make sure they are still refinancing. The reason this is after foreclosure is for one very important reason that is unique to our situation right now. Your lender is not reporting your forbearance to credit bureaus. Normally, they do that, but right now is a special case where they are not. So, since it's not being reported to credit bureaus, you can put yourself into forbearance because it is taking about 2 months, even after our rate lock. We are not going to close on our refinance until June, end of June. So we will have to make a few more monthly payments before then. Now, if you're watching this down the road, then do not put yourself into forbearance. Do not request forbearance until after you get your rate lock. When you are refinancing, the bank will do a hard pull of your credit score. And if they see that you've been in forbearance, then that will affect your rate. Last thing, you can roll in your closing costs for your refinance into your new mortgage. So that is a way that you can save some money. And then also you can do a cash out refinance, and you can take out the equity in your home if you need cash to pay for other things. So that's a way you can save some money and get some extra cash from a refinance. So a refinance is a really great thing to look at if you have the credit score and payment history to qualify for a good rate. Now, the fourth one is to look into a loan modification. If you can't get into a refinance right now, or you just recently refinanced, talk to your lender about what your loan modification options are. And you don't even need forbearance to see what those options are or to get your loan modified. You may even be able to lower your rate. So this could be helpful if you can afford to pay something, just not what you have been paying. A loan modification may hurt your credit score, but you won't need to apply with a new lender to get a loan modification. You'll use your existing lender, and it can help you avoid foreclosure, which is the ultimate goal. Last is to talk to a housing counselor. They are going to be most familiar with all of the local resources to help you pay your mortgage, and they may be able to find you services that actually make a payment for you or something like that, but they're more likely to be familiar with statewide programs or county-wide programs that can help you with your mortgage. If you're looking for a program that's going to pay your mortgage, you're going to want to talk to a housing counselor and not somebody on the internet. If your housing counselor has not heard of the program, it is most definitely probably a scam. And it's not just help with your mortgage, but they can also help you make a budget and figure out your finances a little better, maybe help you to afford a payment in a loan modification instead of a forbearance. So they can help you out more than just finding resources. So definitely visit the HUD website. I will link to it in the description so you can find your local housing counselor. Those are the 5 ways that you can get help if you can't pay your mortgage right now. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try any of them or if you've had experience with any of them, and try to be as helpful as possible to other people watching this video. And if you like it, again, subscribe at the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to be here every week bringing you more videos to help you manage your finances well and gain financial stability.